Coming up next on Rangers Insider, we look back at one of the scariest baseball injuries ever, and it happened to a member of the Rangers.
I was wondering why I was bleeding out of my nose and mouth after being hit in the head.
Welcome back to the show. Well, the life story of Rangers manager Jeff Bannister has been well documented, from overcoming cancer to surviving a broken neck on the baseball field in college. But he's not the only member of this Rangers coaching staff to have suffered a frightening injury while playing the game. Brad Holman is another one, and he had his frightening moment happen just across the way at Old Arlington Stadium. It was a Sunday night, August 8th, 1993, and the Seattle Mariners were in town to play the Rangers. Everyone knew who Seattle's starting pitcher was that night, Randy Johnson. Not as many people, though, knew the Mariners' relief pitcher and the current Rangers assistant pitching coach, Brad Holman.
I had just been recalled from AAA. I was sent down, and Norm Charlton had elbow injury, and I was recalled. Matter of fact, just the same day.
This is the third batter now, the second time through, and there's no signs of hitting Holman hard.
There was one out in the top of the seventh when Rangers shortstop Mario Diaz came to the plate. It was one of the scariest moments in the history of Arlington Stadium.
Oh, the last three games. Off his face! That got him in the head. Diaz is safe at first base, but that went right off his head.
Fastball down and away, and he dropped the head on it, and it came right back at me. And to my knowledge, I never really saw it. Just I felt it, though.
He had no chance. That ball was hit as hard as Mario Diaz can hit a ball.
I remember intense vibration, because the vibration shot out my front teeth. And laying on the ground, I wasn't unconscious, but I knew I had been hit hard, and I was kind of wondering, where the ball went and where the runner was and what the outcome of the play was. And the trainer came out and just kind of checked my ears and nose, and as they do, and the ball hit me just above the bill of my hat. So, of course, I wasn't knowledgeable at the time in terms of the fact that there's a sinus cavity behind your forehead, and I was wondering why I was bleeding out of my nose and mouth after being hit in the head. It was a different scene in terms of injury on the field, to have players and personnel from both sides of the field on the field.
Everybody's around the mound except Mario Diaz, the one in the background.
Diaz was dazed. Umpires told him it was a ground rule double since the ball caromed all the way into the Rangers dugout. But unsure of what to do, he didn't move. But he was one of the first people to visit Holman during his 3-day hospital stay.
Superhuman being, you could just tell walking through the door. I mean, he had tears coming down his face. I mean, he really thought that it was worse than it was, and it was bad, but it wasn't it wasn't life-threatening, fortunately.
Holman survived, but for a few minutes, lying on his back, looking up at the doctors and the trainers and the Arlington night sky, he wasn't so sure.
The things that went through my head really had nothing to do with baseball or money or any. It was more I wanted to be right with God. I wanted my wife to know I was going to be okay, and my immediate family to know that things were good. So it's amazing. You say life passes before your eyes, and it literally kind of happened. And just the priorities, the way they came to me, just to understand how precious life is, and how things can be taken from you in the flash of an eye, and there's no guarantees. There's no guarantees for tomorrow. There's no guarantees that baseball's going to be here. There's no guarantees of anything, not even your next breath. So, for me, it was a really neat experience from that standpoint. You hate to go through it and learn it that way, but at the same time, it was a huge growth time for me.
Such a terrifying story. Of course, we are glad everything is okay so many years later. And we did ask Brad if there was a moral to the story, and he kind of smiled and said, if it's low and away, get your glove up. That's what he tells the Rangers staff, at least.